How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Country Mash. I seriously hope you guys have been awesome. Today we're looking at the Holosun ACSS 503G red dot. Oh, I guess it's not really red dot. It has an ACSS reticle in it, so it kind of acts like a red dot, but it's a reticle. It's super awesome. It's actually a reticle that works with a large variety of calibers, and it kind of merges the whole EOTech donut of death with, aim point battery life into a really affordable package. So I want to thank Primary Arms for sending this optic out for test and evaluation. Like always, I wouldn't even question it. This is going to be fully honest, and even then, this is an initial impressions video, kind of a first look. I haven't really shot it a whole lot at this point. There will be a full review kind of going over pros and cons of the optic once I get a lot of rounds downrange with it. But as of right now, I just kind of want to share with you guys my thoughts and why I'm excited about it. So we're going to start it off with the specs and details. We'll take a look at the reticle, and then I'll kind of give you guys my thoughts on it and why I think it's an excellent choice to have. So when I say this thing is affordable, I seriously mean it. It comes in right now at Primary Arms for $219.99. So about 220 bucks. That is extremely affordable compared to, say an aim point, which could run you anywhere between $600 and $800. This thing is very inexpensive. But as of right now, it seems to be a really good optic that's holding up for a lot of people. Some of the things it comes with, it does come with a bikini cover for the lenses. It comes with two different mounts. They're both T1 compatible mounts, so they will work with your aim point T1s, T2s, H1s, H2s, anything that takes those style mount. The ones it comes with is a low mount and a lower 1/3 mount, and it also does come with a battery inside of the battery compartment, which is a CR2032 coin battery. Again, the first thing to note is that this has the ACSS reticle, so it's not your typical red dot, but it does have two different reticle options. You can turn off the outer horseshoe, so that way you just have the chevron and the 3 dots underneath, and this actually gives you better battery life. So we'll kind of jump to that right now. Battery life with just the chevron and the 3 dots is going to be 50,000 plus hours. If you put the horseshoe on, it's going to be 20,000 plus hours. Now what I mean by plus hours means this actually has an auto on and auto off feature. So with that feature, the battery life will last even longer than those stated hours because it's not on all the time. After 10 minutes, it does turn off, and it will turn back on at the last setting that you had it on when it senses any movement. So if it's just sitting in the corner of your house waiting to be used for a home defense situation, it's off until you pick it up. I've been playing around with it for quite a bit, picking it up, letting it turn off, picking it back up. I haven't had any issues yet. So it seems like an awesome feature to me that's going to give you even longer battery life. It does have a total of 12 brightness settings. 10 of them are daylight bright, and this thing gets extremely bright. And 2 of those settings are actually night vision settings, so it is night vision compatible. Holosun does claim that the waterproof rating is IP67, which in short means that you can submerge the optic underwater up to 1 meter deep for about 30 minutes. Holosun also claims it is parallax free, and I don't see any literature claiming any ratings or any shockproof claims, but with all the videos I've seen on YouTube and people putting this thing through some crazy torture tests, it looks like it is extremely shockproof and quite durable. It does have top mounted buttons, which makes the operation of the optic ambidextrous. It's easy to activate from either side of the weapon. And it actually gives you a better sight picture because the battery compartment doesn't have to stick out as far to be a rotary knob. So it kind of brings it in a little bit more, which gives you a better sight picture and less obstruction. And the adjustment turrets themselves are also waterproof, so you got some pretty good protection there. They are half MOA adjustments, and you could actually use the cap itself to adjust the turrets, which is kind of cool, kind of has that whole aim point thing. However, these are actually easier to adjust if you were to lose the cap because it uses a standard slot, so you can use, say, a flathead screwdriver, a coin, or even the end of a brass casing. It does have a 6061 T6 aluminum housing with a hard coat anodizing, and Holosun claims that the weight of the red dot itself, not with the mounts, is 4.87 ounces, which is very attractive to me considering I had the Aimpoint Pro on my 10.5-inch AR before, And yeah, it's an awesome optic. I'm going to keep it. I'm not getting rid of it. I love that red dot, but it is old school. It's a little bit heavy, and the battery life isn't even as good. Even the glass clarity, the Aimpoint Pro seems to have more of that blue tint to it. The Holosun seems very clear and has a very sharp reticle. So as I mentioned earlier, there's two different reticle settings. You can either have the horseshoe on or you can turn it off. And to do that, all you have to do is hold down the minus button for 3 seconds, and that's going to turn on and off the horseshoe. If your goal is to have the longest possible battery life and you don't necessarily care about the horseshoe, go ahead and turn that off, and that way your battery is going to last a lot longer. If you're running this on a shotgun, or even if you just like using the horseshoe, then you're going to want that on. And battery life at that point, I still don't think is a big concern, being that this has an auto on and off feature. So in theory, it should last you longer than the 20,000 hours. But with that claim, only time can tell. And like I also mentioned earlier, this reticle works with a large variety of calibers. And I'm just going to post them up there on the screen so you guys can see. And I'm not going to go through what the BDCs are for each caliber. I'm just going to give you guys an example of what I would be using for, or something similar. It's a little bit different on a 10.5 inch. But say you had a 16-inch 5.56 AR-15 and you want to use the reticle on here. The tip of the chevron is going to be your 100-yard zero, and then the bottom of the chevron will be your 300-yard holdover. The first dot on top will be 400 yards, next dot 500, and the third dot on the bottom will be your 600-yard holdover. When you pair a magnifier, like I have the Primary Arms 3X magnifier behind this thing, when you pair that with this red dot, with this reticle, you have an extremely versatile setup. So you could go from super fast, close quarter shooting to medium range, no problem. If you're using a shotgun and you have the horseshoe on, that horseshoe pattern is going to be your typical shotgun pattern at about 25 yards. If you want to use the ACSS for ranging your target, you can range an 18-inch wide target using the outer tips of the chevron. That target's going to be at about 300 yards. If that 18-inch target is measuring at the inner tips of the chevron, that's going to be about 400 yards. And then the BDC dots down below will cover a 5-inch wide target at 500 yards. This ACSS reticle even has the ability for vertical ranging as well as having wind leads. So you guys could already tell this red dot, or it's not a red dot, but it's a red dot. This optic is extremely versatile. It's very cost effective. I honestly love using the horseshoe myself. It seems to be well built. It doesn't have as much blue tint. The reticle is very crisp and very sharp. Unless you have astigmatism, it could look a little bit blurry. Then you'd want to look at something like the Primary Arms 1X Cyclops for you astigmatism folks. Red dots aren't your friend, but if you don't, it is a very, very crisp reticle. I really like how it looks, and again, pairing it with a magnifier, whether that be a 3X magnifier or a 6X magnifier, it just makes it that much more versatile. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to put more rounds down range, and yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Are you a fan of red dots at all? I know I am. That's why I'm really excited about it. So sound off down below in the comments what you guys think about it. I will have links down in the description box if you guys are interested. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys got some sort of value out of it. If you guys are already subscribed to the channel, thank you. I seriously appreciate the support. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you enjoy the video. Be sure to share this video with any of your buddies who like guns, who like red dots. Maybe they're in the market for something like an EOTech or an Aimpoint, but don't necessarily have you know, $600–700 to spend. Send them this way. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.